not only you are going to get such an important message this month, my gorgeous Gemini, my gorgeous Geminini, and this important message that you're going to have, it's just really to do with something very, very extremely personal, and something that was like pretty much scaring you on so many different levels, you know. So this news, this information that you're going to get, you know, this is going to mean to you so much. I'm telling you, it's something very specific, and it's something very, very personal, and it's something that it just took over your life lately in terms of the actual worry. And this really good message that you're going to have, this information and message, is going to happen precisely at around the 18th of January 2023. This in itself is going to mean to you so much, and it's going to make you feel so good, and you will see that the huge, massive, enormous weight of your shoulders, it's about to be lifted. And also, even more so, my gorgeous Geminini, when it comes to the month of January 2023, Happy New Year, by the way. But when it comes to the actual this month of January 2023, you know, your number is number 7. This is a very powerful number. It's a rather spiritual number, but it also means that, you know, you are going to become you're going to become ridiculously enthusiastic, optimistic, rather creative, and completely impatient. Why are you going to become impatient and creative and enthusiastic and ridiculously optimistic? Let me tell you why. Because this month you're also going to become aware of the certain news, and these news are going to be pretty much so consisting of you understanding a really kind of exciting opportunities that are going to allow you to be you, that are going to allow you to do what you want to do, and that are going to allow you to do what you're extremely passionate about. So this is what number 7 means in terms of the actual spirituality. You also need to pay attention to the actual 7th of January, 17th of January, and then again the 27th of January, because these 3 days are also like going to give you clue. What do you need to finish when it comes to something that you've already started? Because this is something that needs to come to an end, and it's going to be revealed within 3 specific dates. These 3 days that I've already mentioned, you will become aware of somehow that there is something that you need to finish. So these are going to be 3 different things, and you need to understand, as soon as you become aware of what needs to be done, what needs to be finished, you are closing something very, very important here. You are going to be the one who is going to be primarily responsible for like not only entering a very special part of your life, very special part of your spiritual journey, but you're also going to be directly responsible for actually ending a certain cycle. And you know, that's important. So you understand what I mean? So on the 7th, 17th and the 27th of January, 3 different things are going to happen where you're going to realize that there is something that you need to finish. And by the time you get to the 27th of January, when the 3rd thing comes up, then that in itself, it's also your sign that after the 27th of January, the new cycle of your life, it's about to begin. And that in itself, it's going to also make you aware of something really important that you've learned, that you found out, not only about yourself, but about certain things that haven't got anything to do with your life. For example, but you have found those things to be extremely beneficial to you, and certain things that you kind of learn that haven't got anything to do with your life in particular, quite scary and kind of weird and negative, but again, it's to do with the world on the outside. But what you need to understand and what you need to remember is to pass on some kind of a knowledge, and this in itself is going to become obvious in between the 27th and the actual 31st of January. So this little stage and this little period, it's also indicating the fact that those people in your life who mean to you so much, who mean mean to you the most, you need to let them know. You need to pass on some kind of a knowledge. And also, my gorgeous Gemini, when it comes to the actual January 2023, you know, you are gonna have such a strong urge to learn something, you know, and this is nothing unusual. This is actually like a God's gift, like a blessing in your life at this stage of your life, because this January, it's the beginning of absolutely everything. And the more you throw yourself, the more you throw yourself into things that are around you, into those things that are attractive to you, the more you're gonna paint 2023, the more kind of colorful you're gonna paint this year to actually be. So the more you put like a kind of energy towards those things that are attracting you throughout the January, the more successful the rest of the year 2023 it's going to be. And I have to say that it even may not seem to be like that, you know, even you may go through certain stress and lots of responsibilities to deal with, but you must not allow this to take the better of you, if you know what I mean. So all you need to remember throughout the actual January, just pay attention to those subtle little messages that you are having, those intuitive little messages, but also most importantly, like you are going to be surprised how now suddenly you feel like you want to like kind of like very optimistic and creative about learning something new. And this is something so important that I need you to pay attention to, because it's like at the same time, you know, it's like you are gonna feel like you wanna learn something, and this is gonna be so obvious, you know, at around the mid January, you know, something is gonna be persistently on your mind, and you're not gonna be able to ignore this whatsoever. And the reason why is because this is directly connected to your spiritual purpose, to your soul purpose. This in itself is going to like pretty much so going to really be the time when you are gonna start heading, you know, in a new direction. But then at the same time, this is going to bring you so much clarity on your life purpose, because this in itself is going to open your eyes. And by the end of this month, you will know exactly what to do. You will know exactly what to do. You're gonna come up with some kind of a big mama plan indeed. But even more so, as soon as you have this strong urge to learn something, you know, to learn something, that in itself is also going to be a very clear indication and sign. There is more to it. There is so much more to it. Do you know what? It's going to be clear indication and sign that you're already planting some kind of a seeds here. The effort that you are gonna put in this, you know, it's gonna come back to you 1 million, like you're gonna be in 1 million ways. You know, you are gonna be rewarded in as little as 7 months time. In exactly 7 months time, your life is going to be completely different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So by the time you get to the actual August, it's gonna be completely different to anything else you have ever experienced in your life. You will be surrounded by the new people, you will be surrounded by the new energy, you will be doing so much more, and I'm telling you that you are going to be enjoying things that you haven't been enjoying so far. It's also a lot about you having a peace of mind, but at the same time it's about, you know, so much of negative energy that is actually going to clear, you know, by that stage, by that point. So there is so much that you're going to be able to enjoy in August that you're not enjoying right now. I'm not saying that you need to wait until August, you know what I mean, but I'm just giving you some kind of a time span as an indication how long are the seeds which you are going to plant at the same time going to take to grow to the point where this is eventually going to literally change your life. This is what you need to understand. Karmically, a very powerful and rather fertile stage of your life. You see what I mean? It's not only about you suddenly feeling this urge to learn something new, to learn something specific, you know, but it's also at the same time, this is like pretty much so going to answer a really big question when it comes to your soul purpose. You're going to feel this in such a divine way, you know. This is an important stage of your life, my gorgeous Gemini, indeed, you know. And as I said, you know, in your heart, you will know exactly what to do. you know that this is by the end of the month, my gorgeous Geminini, you know, it's all about, you know, you see, you know, these few days, you know, the last few days, it's just pretty much so about, you know, endings. You know, there's so many endings that are going to become absolutely obvious, but these endings are going to lead to new beginnings, and that in itself, it's going to make you aware of like the need to release certain situations and people that are actually holding you back, because especially in between the 27th and the 31st of January, you are going through the actual spiritual transformation, which on another hand really means that it's now time to take action. You know, at the same time, it's not only about spiritual transformation, but it's also indicating a time that it's actually time to get, you know, to take action and give birth to certain dreams of yours. And you also need to understand that whichever creative project you take on throughout the month of January, they are going to be extremely rewarding indeed. This is absolutely brilliant, especially in terms of the actual abundance and prosperity in your life. It's like, oh my God. And number 7 in numerology also means, you know, that you are going to have a very interesting, literally life-changing sign. But I'm going to talk about a life-changing sign in just a little bit, you know. But first of all, what am I going to say now, my gorgeous Geminini? When it comes to nutrition and when it comes to health, you know, it is important to kind of try to also, before I say anything, to meditate a little bit, to try to meditate. And I can tell you, because spiritually you are going to be open, so that means that there is a lot that is going to come to you, you know. So this is something that I want you to understand, that you are going to possess this ability where you before you meditate or before you ground yourself, before some kind of relaxation, even before you go to walk into the forest, you can ask the specific question, just say it loudly, you know, and then the answer is going to come to you, and it's really going to surprise you how sharp and how different this is actually going to feel. And also when it comes to nutrition and health, my gorgeous Geminini, it's like natural vitamin D3. I highly recommend you to boost your immune system and to re-energize you a little bit, to stay on top of things, and it's going to be super beneficial for your sensitive bones, in combination with natural zinc picolinate, which is a highly absorbable form of zinc, which is superb for skin, hair and nails, and also to boost your immune system. And the third thing that I would highly recommend you would be organic chlorella, because sadly there are metals in the air, in the sky, in the ground, in the soil, very dangerous metals nowadays. Whether you know this or not, you better believe it, you know. But there are some things that we can actually do when it comes to this. We can take organic chlorella, which has got the ability to detoxify our body from all these metals, and on top of that is just really beneficial when it comes to omega-3 essential fatty acids, which our body cannot produce by itself, but it's rather essential for our mind, memory and things like that. So here is the zinc picolinate. This is my own brand, of course, because I had enough of going outside in the shop to get things for myself, and it's all rubbish filled with chemicals, you know, scary. So I decided to create my own brand, you know, which is of an exceptional quality, and it's without any unnecessary ingredients, and it's suitable for everybody, like vegetarians and vegans and things like that. So this is a natural vitamin D3, and the organic chlorella, I highly suggest you, it's over here. So if you would like to buy these supplements, which are my own, of course, which I highly suggest, it's like you can just get them in a description below, or you can just go on Google and just type in Sasha Bonasin vitamins, and you can see my page coming up that way as well. And if you're any other medications, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor or GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So now, my gorgeous Geminini, I'm just going to see what is going to be the first date that you need to pay attention to. Now, the first big date is going to be on the 5th of January. Now, on the 5th of January, you are going to become aware of some kind of incorrect advice, okay? Some kind of incorrect advice. Someone is going to kind of tell you that you need to kind of go on with something, or plug along with something, or that you need to be tactical with something, and that you need to carry on with something, you know, that you need, and now it's basically what you need to understand is what this person is going to that you need to kind of like that person is going to give you an incorrect advice, that you need to be kind of tactical about something, but and that you need to kind of carry on with something, but then you know that you need to move from that, that you know that this is an incorrect advice, so you are going to become aware of an incorrect advice, and now that in itself would really lead towards a really bad investment in your life, on your spiritual journey, because it would go directly against how you feel, directly against your spirit, directly against your soul. So you need to stand really firmly, and you need to like really stand your ground, and you really need to put your point across, and you really need to do what you feel like doing, what your soul is doing. Okay, this is very, very important. So do not follow an incorrect advice. And how you're going to know that this is an incorrect advice? Because it's going to ring differently, almost as if like you're doing something that someone is telling you to do, but you know instantly that this is not something for you, this is not good for you, it's not making you feel happy, and you don't want your life to be like that. So this is going to be a very strong indication, you know, that this would be a bad investment into your life to listen to this incorrect advice. And that in itself, you know, it's going to really kind of it's going to make you think, make you wonder, and then by the time you get to the actual 8th and the actual 9th of January 2023, this is where you are going to realize that you need to return to some kind of a previous plan. Okay, you need to return to some kind of a previous plan, and that return to the previous plan that you are going to have, it's like kind of going to be the beginning on the 7th and 8th of January 2023. It's all about you having a new plan of something that you wanted to start previously. I know that this sounds really confusing, but you will see exactly what I mean. That incorrect advice is going to make you feel like, oh no, this is not me, no baby, no. But by the time you get to the 7th and 8th of January, this is going to give you a nice amount of time to reflect, to think about, and then it's going to come to you, my baby. It's going to come to you about the actual new plan. But this new plan, it's an old wish, so you are going to kind of return to something before, something that means to you so much. Your passion and your soul is going to be guiding you, and you're not going to be able to avoid this part of your life, because it is very much so a spiritual journey that's imprinted on you naturally. So it's going to be keep on coming back and bouncing up until you reflect on it, and until you follow your intuition and your own spiritual guidance, rather than, you know what I mean, listen to some kind of incorrect advice that sounds wrong to start with, let alone you're just going completely towards something that you know it's making you feel really negative and unhappy, and it literally came to an end. So by the time you get to the 7th and 8th of January, you are going to come up with a new plan, and something that you kind of attempted before, or you wanted to attempt before, and now you're going to have all this hope and confidence, because you're going to realize that now it's time. And even more so, you are going to feel like, oh my God, what is going to be keep on putting you off a little bit, because you will not know exactly how you're going to do this, but you're going to feel this drive, and you will know. Just remember, it's to do with your spiritual purpose. So you just go with these initial feelings and just see where they're going to take you. It's going to take you towards you having one of the biggest accomplishments of your life, which is immediately going to start a process of healing, and it's going to even reflect on your health. Why? Because this is a spiritual reward for you, like really following your intuitive guidance, you know, and it's like you get like personal reward for that, because you do the right thing in life. And even if we make a wrong decision sometimes, you know, it doesn't matter, as long as we make it on our own accord, rather than someone else like kind of telling us what to do, you know. So this is very, very important for you to understand, my gorgeous Geminini, indeed. And what else I was going to recommend you is to get something like a ruby fuchsite, absolutely gorgeous. And what this ruby fuchsite, beautiful, gorgeous, natural pendant, it's actually going to do, it's going to help you to really kind of make decisions, wise decisions, without over analyzing. There are a lot of decisions that you're going to be making. There are lots of decisions that you're going to be making throughout the first few months this year, let alone everything else. There is so much that is actually going to be going on. But when, and there there are lots of other things and aspects that you're going to be dealing with, and you must not allow this to take the better of you, especially when you're facing important decisions, and then you just lose yourself because you're over analyzing. What this baby can do immediately brings you back down on the ground. It grounds you immediately, and it gives you that power to kind of like protect yourself against over analyzing, because when you start over analyzing, then you start losing yourself in it, you see. So this is why it's so brilliant to wear when you're making important decisions. This gorgeous ruby fuchsia, it comes with sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well, so thank you for that. The second important date, my gorgeous Gemini, it's going to be on the 19th. Yeah, you see what I was saying to you before? Yay! It's this amazing, mind-blowing, life-changing sign that you are going to have. And the sign that you're going to have, it's going to be very, very unusual, very strange, rather bizarre, but it's at the same time going to point towards an important adjustment that you're going to need to make. This is what that unusual, life-changing sign is going to make you aware, but it's going to be very, very unusual, and it's going to come to you in the most of the unusual ways you could possibly imagine at the time when you kind of least expect. So this is a very kind of special vibration and energy that we have at the time, which helps us to reflect in a completely different ways, because we just borrowed this like kind of different dimensional energy that opens us up to the point we've never been open like this before, which is extremely at the same time make us rather open-minded. So we go for things that we would never go for, but we know that this is the right thing to do. I don't know how to explain, but it's really important. So this sign, an unusual sign that you're going to have, it's going to kind of make you aware of like an adjustment, but as soon as you become aware of the adjustment, this in itself, it's like kind of like, oh my god, by the 21st of January you are going to have such a mind-blowing, beautiful, emotional experience, you know. And this experience that you are going to have, it's really kind of going to be the beginning of something very, very special, and it wouldn't have happened if you didn't make that or pay attention to that important adjustment. So one thing is going to lead you to another, so you are going to have the beginning of a very, very meaningful experience and adventure, which is going to like make you aware of so much more, that there is so much more for you to do, there is so much more for you to explore, there is so much more for you to experience, there is so much more for you to try, there is so much more for you to inspect, there is so much more for you to kind of like throw yourself in, you know. This is important. And at the same time, you know, you are basically on the 19th of January, you know, this is the beginning of the meaningful experience. It's also going to make you kind of disappointed about a certain person in your life. You are going to feel a little bit of a bitter experience, but then at the same time, you know, almost immediately after that moment in time, you're also going to become aware of the new door that you're walking through, which are bringing in new possibilities, new relationships, and new opportunities in your life. But especially it's to do with the new people that you're going to become aware of, that are actually going to come into your life. So this is going to mean to you quite a lot, and it's going to really kind of overshadow that bitter experience that you had through someone. So someone maybe just slowly but surely going to come to an end when it comes to your life, but it's not someone who means to you too much anyway. But then on another hand, you are going to get heaps of like new important people who are going to start walking into your life, who are going to make start making tremendous, you know, changes indeed. And also, you know, my gorgeous Gemini, it's more to do with that life-changing sign that you are going to have, and the beginning of a meaningful experience, like an adventure, brand new adventure in your life. This is all going to boil down towards you like making such a wise choice. So it's like this certain experiences, realizations, your eyes are going to be open. This is all going to boil down you understanding which wise choice do you need to make, and this is going to reflect on your more practicality, and it's going to reflect on you like feeling too frequently, like kind of like too restrained in your life, and you will have so much, you know, you had enough of this, you know what I mean? So this is going to give you a great determination because of this initiative, such a mind-blowing strength, power. It's going to make you feel alive again. It's going to make you feel active again, because this is all going to bring success into your life. But at the same time, it's about this hope, inspiration, and the bright prospects that you are going to become aware of as well. These bright prospects, like first of all, the bright prospects that you're going to become aware of on the actual 19th of January, you know, this is going to be keep on evolving and evolving and evolving and changing. So by the time you get to the 31st of January, these bright prospects are going to turn into a big mama of bright prospects. You know, there are going to be so many things that you're still going to realize, so many other things connected to it. And oh my God, I can't even explain this. This is going to be absolutely life-changing in so many different ways. It's going to bring so much pleasure and happiness into your life. Contentment you haven't felt in an absolute ages. And that in itself is your clear indication that the process of healing is literally starting. Okay, by the time you get to the 30th of January, my gorgeous Gemini, another thing I was going to recommend you, it's absolutely gorgeous tiger's eye pendant. Look at this gorgeous, genuine tiger's eye pendant. And I'm saying genuine because there's so many fakes out there, you know what I mean? But this is a really, really powerful pendant. And at the same time, you know, it's going to protect you from an evil eye, from negative energy. And the reason why I say this, it's because you are going to be spiritually open. There is so much that it's actually spiritually open in between between January and June. In between January and June, you're going, this first half year, it's going to be like, oh my God, like a big mama, you know, like you're going to be so spiritually open. So which means that you're gonna really love to live like that, you know, like to keep on having all these messages and feeling them, understanding them in a completely different way. And you will be able to read like your own kind of internal guidance when it comes to you reflecting on a certain numbers repeating and things like that. This is fantastic. But when we are so spiritually open, then we become really vulnerable as well to the certain energies. And sometimes certain people want to give us on purpose like an evil eye, and sometimes they just have a very strong amount, very huge amount of negative energy that they can just think about us in a negative way, and people can get affected. So when you're spiritually open, you are more prone to these energies. So that's why I'm really recommending you to get this gorgeous tiger's eye pendant, because it's going to protect you from negative energy, from an evil eye. But it's also superb when it comes to attracting success. It's superb for finances, for money, for wealth, and it's also a good luck stone. You see what I mean? It's a good luck stone. So when you're working on something important, when you're doing something important, when you want to be more successful, when you want to attract more money in terms of success, of course, tiger's eye is absolutely brilliant. It's the little successful stone. It's the stone for success indeed. So this gorgeous pendant comes with a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well. So now, my gorgeous Gemini, I'm just going to have a little sip of my tinini. My gorgeous Gemini, I'm going to have a sip of my tinini. You see what I mean? I'm crazy, I guess. What is normal, you know? Maybe the problem is that people are too normal sometimes, yeah? Too normal. By being too normal, people are putting all sorts of barricades around them. By being too normal, people are following instructions that just like, I don't know. People are not allowing themselves to be themselves, you know? What is normal? Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not normal, I guess. Oh my God, this is so good. You know which tea I'm drinking by now, of course. Rose and hibiscus with organic honey and organic unwaxed lemon. Important, unwaxed. It's so delicious, and I put loads of lemon in, you know, I love it. And you know what, I'm gonna go mad because this is my last tea bag. So it's my last tea bag. No! I can drink liters of this, literally, and it's good for you, of course. So now, my gorgeous Gemini, the third important date is going to be on the 30th of January. Now, the 30th of January, I like it, I like it, I like it, like it, like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, like it, like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, like it, like it, like it, like it. My gorgeous Gemini, I really like it because you know what? You are gonna be so happy. You are gonna be very happy on the 30th of January because you are gonna get this news and you're gonna love this information, this message, and you will know it's about your own success. You know, on one hand, financially you're going to gain, but it's more about you overcoming such a big obstacle and challenge. Big mama challenge, you know, big mama of challenges here, you know, and it's not so much about financial gain here. It's more about overcoming an obstacle and a really big challenge, you know, and this in itself is going to put you on such an advanced stage in your life. It's to do with one of the biggest victories of your life, and at the same time you will know that you are going to need to have an important conversation with someone as well. You're going to need to talk to someone. Please just understand that this is the part of the process. Something is going to be putting you off from you talking to that particular person, but it's the same thing again. You have to trust yourself, and you need to be brave, and you need to be strong, because something is going to be putting you off to talk to someone specific. And then once you kind of connect with that person on the 30th of January, this is going to be obvious who this is. You're going to feel completely different, and in fact you're going to feel completely opposite. So you expected something negative, but this is going to be something mind-blowing. So something really successful is actually going to come out of it, because you are going to find out something very, very specific, a very useful information which is going to answer your question, and it's going to help you to speed things up a little bit in your life. You will know exactly what I mean. You need to understand also, my gorgeous Gemini, that the 30th of January, the process of change is starting. When you become aware of this success, and when you become aware of the fact that you overcame a huge obstacle and challenge in your life, this is the process of change starting when it comes to your advancement, but also when it comes to you and understanding exactly which alteration after this moment you need to make, because this is also bringing an important change with itself, you know, and the change is gonna really require a certain alteration, and that is going to give you such a brilliant idea by the time you get to the 31st of January. So it's all about this brilliant idea that you're going to have, but it's not something that you should rush with, because this idea that you're going to have is just the base, and it's going to need like about good few weeks, like a month or a couple of months, until you get to the right point where you will see things that you didn't see, because by then there is something else that you're going to realize, that you're going to learn, some kind of amazing experience that is also going to kind of bring you the necessary knowledge, which is on one hand going to really kind of expand your mind and your way of thinking. So there is so much that is going to be more clear to you by then. Great clarity. So this is going to lead towards a brilliant idea, but then again at the same time you just need to understand that this is going to need a time, you know, just like about a month or two. And this and also, you know, when it comes to the 30th and the 31st of January, you need to understand, I know this is sound weird, but you need to communicate as much as you can. You need to talk as much as you can when it comes to the 30th and the 31st of January. By talking and communicating and expressing yourself, you are going to find out more and more and more about yourself. By talking, communicating and expressing yourself as much as you can throughout the 30th and the 31st of January, you're also going to kind of like realize that it's kind of this is a temporary pause for like kind of reflection and insight, but at the same time this is going to bring you an awakening where you're going to see things in a whole new light, and this is going to help you to embrace your uniqueness. This is very important indeed. I know this sounds crazy, I know this sounds weird to talk as much as you can, but the 30th and 31st of July, my god, 30th and the 31st of January, 30th and the 31st of January, which means that there is actually going to be a really strong connection with July, and which means in July that there is, like, you know, you're gonna end up financially being so well that you will be in a position to help, you know, to those people who mean to you so much, you know, bless your heart. So this is what it means, very strong connection to actual July 2023. So that's why this big mama popped up, you know, just to let you know this. You need to know this. But just remember that the 30th and the 31st of January, it's all about you embracing your own uniqueness. This is so important, and there is so much that you're going to realize and learn just by talking as much as you possibly can and expressing yourself. It's so important. So now, my gorgeous Gemini, I'm just going to say briefly what is going to happen in the first part of January, mid part of January, and the last part of January. The first part of January, you are gonna feel as creative as never before. Okay, so something just fallen. Yeah, you're gonna feel like as creative as never before, like, and this is going to surprise you within the first part of January indeed. So when you feel creative, you really need to kind of pay attention to what is on your mind and what is making you feel creative, because you may not even realize that this is coming from your subconsciousness, and it's gonna point at those things that are not only going to give you willpower when it comes to the whole year of 2023, but it's also going to point to those things that you should be doing and those things that are actually giving you self-confidence. By the time you get to the mid part of January, please just remember this. This is so important. Do not make unwise investments. Okay, when it comes to mid-January, do not make unwise investments. You will know what these unwise investments are, because you will instantly know that something is not right, something is upside down. When it comes to this investment, something is maybe sounding too good to be true, but it's like something is upside down. So just run on miles, baby. By the time you get to the last part of January, it's like, ooh la la, baby, you know, you're gonna feel active and determined, but in a different way to where you were at the beginning of January. So in the last part of January, it's all about this activity and determination that you are going to have, but it's coming from those things that you're experienced about, and you're going to be working on something that you're really experienced about. You're going to be enjoying yourself, and this is where Big Mama comes in, because there is at the same time going to be a very, very interesting idea that it's going to come to you, that it's going to surprise you so much, but it's going to show you how much you've actually changed, and it's going to show you the way. So now, my gorgeous Gemini, I'm just going to see what is going to happen to those of you in relationship. It's like, oh my god, this is brilliant, you know, because for those of you in relationship, especially at around the 19th of January, something really beautiful is going to happen. A success when it comes to finances, but it's more about you finding this rather victorious moment in time when it comes to reaching a certain stability in life, which is going to allow you to make an absolutely mind-blowing decision by the end of this month. By the end of January, the couples, you are going to make a mind-blowing decision, and this mind-blowing decision is just really going to change your life forever in the best possible way. But this is going to be big decision, like really big, and it's going to be consisting of you like primarily doing something enormous within your immediate environment, whether you're going to just move somewhere else, whether you're going to do something immediate, something enormous within your immediate environment. You will know what it is, but this is going to make you feel both so much happy, you know, so happy. And also, another thing I was going to say, your partner, it's got, this is for those of you in relationship, obviously. So your partner, it's also going to give you a very, very interesting idea. And this is really going to surprise you, like, oh my god, where did you come up with that, you know? Not in a bad way, but it's really going to surprise you, you know? You should go for this interesting idea. absolutely 1,000,000%. And for those of you who are single and ready to, hello my darling, for those of you who are single, you know, you are just going to realize what was affecting you so much, and what was making you feel so dark, and what was making you feel so down, and what was making you feel so negative, and what was like kind of dominating your life in such a way where it's actually just drained your energy. So something happened to you, like maybe within the last few years, and something happened to you within the last couple of years or within the last few years, some kind of a tower moment, some kind of situation, negative situation that really throw you out of balance, and it affected you more than you can possibly imagine. And you were still affected by something that happened to you like within the last few years. It really affected you, and it affected your relationships, and affected your way of being. Do you know what I mean? And it affected your way of thinking, and it just like started to dominate your life without you even realizing. So it just kind of had to be a certain amount of time to kind of pass in terms of karma for you to be ready here. And this is like almost as if like at around the 15th and 16th of January, you are really, my gorgeous Gemini, those of you who are single, you're gonna kind of be reminded of this tower in your life, negative situation that affected you. And as soon as you become aware of this, you know, you are gonna realize something that you've learned, and you're gonna realize how much this was dominating your life. And at that moment in time, you're also gonna get an important message when it comes to something completely different, like your own success in life, an important message when it comes to some kind of accomplishment. And that accomplishment that you're gonna become aware of, it's gonna make you aware of like you needing to go somewhere on a regular basis. And this is where Big Mama comes in, because this is all connected to new people starting to come into your life. So this month it's more about you finding out what you're going to be doing on a regular basis, regularly, obviously. And these are going to be your door. This is going to be your portal when quite a few different interesting people are going to enter your life. And one of them is going to be like, oh my God, a very, very special indeed. And you will see exactly what I mean. Okay, my gorgeous Gemini, I love you all so much. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.